Here in the UK, Downing Street says Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer spoke to President Trump last night before his decision to halt aid. The government here insists it is laser focused on securing a lasting peace for Ukraine and wouldn't be derailed from those efforts. Meanwhile, the US Vice President JD Vance has denied disrespecting British forces in comments he made in a Fox News interview. Vicky Young has the reaction from Westminster.
Commemorating the special relationship in a different era, a British Prime Minister and an American President side by side. Roosevelt and Churchill were allies in a war effort against a common enemy. 80 years later, Keir Starmer says he has a good relationship with President Trump, but influencing his decisions is proving difficult.
What's your message to the Ukrainian front lines?
Ministers woke to the news that the US had withdrawn military aid from Ukraine.
Is this the moment Europe has to go it alone on defence, Minister?
This was the government's carefully worded response.
What the US government decides to do, that's entirely their decision. But the UK and the Prime Minister is very clear on our support for Ukraine and that we need that peace deal. And the President Trump has said that we need a peace deal as well, and we're focused on making sure we get that over the line.
The Conservative leader was more critical.
It was an incredibly disappointing development. I think it sends a signal to Vladimir Putin that he is winning. And we need to remember who it is, whose side we're on. That is President Zelensky's. We're not on the side of Vladimir Putin. I believe that President Zelensky needs all the help he can get, and that does include American military aid.
Downing Street say the Prime Minister's been in daily contact with President Trump recently, but they won't say whether he knew in advance about the announcement on US military aid to Ukraine. It shows the difficulties of dealing with this unpredictable American administration. The Vice President, JD Vance, has caused offence with his comments about a potential European peacekeeping force in Ukraine.
The very best security guarantee is to give Americans economic upside in the future of Ukraine. That is a way better security guarantee than 20,000 troops from some random country that hasn't fought a war in 30 or 40 years.
He insisted later that he wasn't referring to British troops, but it's angered some in Westminster.
It's quite clear who his comments were referring to. I think it's deeply disrespectful to all those who served in the British Armed Forces, including myself, and to those who are serving currently. And I think veterans across this country today will just feel very upset with those comments that he has made.
The Prime Minister is keeping up the diplomatic activity. He spoke to President Zelensky again today and welcomed his latest commitment to securing peace. Vicky Young, BBC News, Westminster.